Hey, everybody. Hope and pray that you're doing well today as we come to our word from the Word. And today, that word is trust. Trust. Now, as we've been going through the Psalms, there's a verse today that we're going to read that's very familiar to you that we usually hear and use, and I've quoted many times around Easter. But instead, we're going to look at it in this season. And I believe that word trust, I believe you'll see that today. As always, I encourage you to read the whole psalm. You can really see what David's going through, and that he realizes that there's times where he thought that he was a little prideful. He thought that he could handle everything on his own, and he realized that he had to face the discipline of God. And sometimes the discipline of God, that we feel that we have the anger of God against us, it can make us really feel despair and feel helpless. But the thing is that our help comes from the Lord. So when we realize why we're going through things, especially when it relates to discipline, right, then it makes a world of difference. But you say, well, maybe I'm going through something today that this isn't discipline. I've been faithful. Kind of in that Job scenario. Well, I've done everything I was supposed to do, but life hasn't given me what I thought it was going to give me. In either case, you're going to see today in just two verses, you're going to see the blessings of God. And that's what gives us a reason to trust. So today, Psalm 30, verses 4 and 5, David says this: Sing praise to the Lord, you saints of his, and give thanks at the remembrance of his holy name. For his anger is but for a moment, his favor is for life. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. We typically use that there around Easter because we know that Saturday night, right? That before that first Easter Sunday morning, Resurrection Sunday, that there was a lot of pain and despair, but there was joy that was coming in the morning. But if you look here, as he is relating this to discipline in a scenario that he's been going through, a situation that he's been going through, and he says even that the anger is but for a moment. Did you hear that other part? He said, but his favor is for life. See, I think sometimes, right, we need to take life a day at a time, right? We're not even promised tomorrow. So why get too caught up in the future, right? We still have to have our eyes looking ahead to what is to come, but ultimately looking ahead to heaven and what God would have us to do while we're here until we get to heaven. So we're still always looking ahead, realizing we can glance behind us to see how our past has gotten us to where we are. That's all what Paul is talking about in Philippians. But even to think here that he's saying, we live day to day, day by day, and day to day. But have you ever thought about the fact that we focus so much on the individual day that we forget that his favor is forever? The favor of God is forever. See, it doesn't come and go, right? The weeping, it comes and goes, and happiness comes and goes, and even as he's talking about the times where he had prosperity, uh, it comes and goes, and even posterity, right? Even some notoriety and whatever else, whatever kind of success you want to look at, that comes and goes as well. You see, Solomon talks about that and how fleeting it is, and how he just says everything is vanity. But the favor of God is forever. See, if you're a child of the one true King, his favor is on you always. Now that's really something to just kind of dwell on and think about today. Because no matter if it's a good day or a bad day, as long as we're keeping our eyes on him and we're striving to live the way that we're supposed to. I mean, isn't that the point that when we're being disciplined by God, his favor is still on us because he's correcting us and he's making us look more like him. And even when it's not discipline, the situations and the struggles and the tests and trials that we go through are molding us and making us who he wants us to be until he keeps taking that dross off the top until he sees a reflection of himself in you and I. But his favor is forever. We don't have to wait, right? We say, oh, and it's some great joy that we can get from that weeping in the night, but joy comes in the morning. But his favor is today. Don't even be looking so much to tomorrow morning as we look to today. Will you trust him today? Will you trust his favor in your life today? Will you trust that he has his hand in control of everything in your life today? If you'll just submit, surrender, let go, right? Let go of the reins, let go of the wheel, let him drive, let him take control. Not just for a day, not just for a moment, not just tomorrow morning, but always. Just trust him today. God bless you, and I pray you have a great, great day.